Hello, Patreon fans, family, friends. It is time for a new moon Zen tarot card pull with the deck. It is, what is today? Today's Tuesday. It's about 4:40 here in Cincinnati. I have been in this, I'm going to shuffle while I talk to you. I've been in this new moon sort of Zen, chill, magic all day, well, all afternoon. Creating the podcast and then creating a new moon meditation, which was so good, so much fun. And now I bring all of that juiciness here into the Zen card pull that is exclusive only for this Patreon family. How about that? Like Alicia and I have set up a really cool place where we can play. So, I shuffle the old-fashioned way. And I'm so excited to see what it's going to be because the energy of the meditation was good, was really good. And we had our circle last week on Friday here, which was so good. So I really have like a tingle in my spine about what this is going to share for us and bring forward for us. Okay, so if you're new to the space, I do 3-card pull. I sound like a blackjack dealer. 3-card pull with a little bonus from the guides. I'm going to do past, present, future. I had to look up because I couldn't remember what it was that we did last month, what came through. And so if you've missed it, I'm just going to review my notes to make sure I have it right. The past was experiencing the card with the tree and the woman. It was beautiful. The present for last month was participation, really getting engaged in life and the energies and the communities around you and stepping into something in a new way. So if you stepped into the Patreon space, like, yeah, well done. And then politics was the future card, which, was very much about, are we going to be authentic in all the places that we are? Are we going to take down the mask and be the same wherever we go? Which is quite a task, to shift to. And then we had the bonus from our guides with completion. Remember the third eye puzzle piece being put in place, which is so magical. So there's a lot that has been Scorpio. Damn, right? Scorpio is intense. So Scorpio has kind of brought us to this place that we're in now with Sagittarius, and it's all shifting. It's all shifting again. So let's see what there is for us. I'm just going to kind of shuffle for a moment and see if anything, sort of pops out, or if not, we're going to do our 8 down sort of magic thing. And also I'm just kind of settling into card pulling. I've been in meditation space, and I mean, it's been so fun. All right, we're going to do 8 cards down because that's just more grounding for me. Okay, so this is going to be for the past. 1, 2. Oh, I did languages last time. Wasn't that fun? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, 8th card. The Creator. This has been sort of the energy behind us. It looks like it's backwards, but I'm assuming you can read the Creator at the bottom. That is the energy that's been bringing us to this place, which I almost feel like this card pull is kind of summing up a lot of 2019 energy, not just also where we're at right in this moment. All right, we're going to, and I'll go into that card more in a second. Do a little more shuffling again. We're going to do our present card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh no, 8. 8. Abundance. How fun is this card? I'll show it to you again in a second, but yay. Creator, abundance is going to be our present, like what's possible for us right now, what's happening right now. So good. And by the way, abundance is also about like feasting, which we're about to step into Thanksgiving weekend. It feels really good, really timely. All right, what are we doing now? German, right? I need to learn some more languages just to count to 8. Oh, no, that was Spanish. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. New vision for the future. I mean, people, this carries us literally right up to the mid-end December for the new year. Like, are you kidding me? I mean, we are tracking. We are so tracking. All right, so those are our 3 cards. Let's kind of dive into them, and then We'll see if we get a little nudge to have a bonus pull from our guides. I mean, you know, we're going to, but we'll let them think that they're kind of running the show. Okay, so let's settle into the goodness of these three cards, because this is a really powerful time, and the energy in the cards are showing that. So yay! No wonder I need to be more grounded. Here's a lot of goodness. Okay, the Creator card. Let's look at this one first. So so this is past, right? This is what has been behind us or bringing us up to this space, which makes sense. The space is called Creative Play with Viv and Alicia. So it's all about creation, and we've been bringing this momentum forward. The Creator, if you look at the colors, it's very much reds, oranges, yellows, with that bright yellow of the third chakra. You see this whole area here of like glowing yellow. And then the reflection of that around the crown, like the aura of the energy field of this being, and the stillness and the inner tranquility of, for me, it's meditation. For you, it may be prayer, whatever form of communication you have with your source. This being, this human, is very clearly in communication with the energy field outside that then matches or magnetizes that energy inside. So you can see the way that the energy is just circling around. Isn't that just awesome? So cool, right? And I love the meditation stillness of how much is possible. Look what is being created by the mind, body, spirit, right? All of that. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. All right, so the Creator card, what the card talks about is how we have this strength and this power inside of us, that our third chakra holds all this creative energy. And it's our choice to tap into that and to trust that, and then to express that out into the world. And so what has been birthing through us, or the ideas that have been flowing through us up until now, it feels like it's brought us here and planted us, right? With all this energy behind, all these ideas. This is almost what I would, not almost, this is what I would call the vortex. Abraham Hicks talks about this, Esther Hicks. They talk about the vortex of all that you've ever desired or dreamed of or called into being sits right here. And then it's literally yours to allow to come in. And that's really what I feel for the Creator energy. We have been doing all this creation as individuals, as a collective society, as humans on this planet, as the planet. There has been all this creation, right? And so what do we do with that? It's been bringing us here to this moment. This moment, everything we've ever created has brought us to here. Now, what do we do with that? Isn't that incredible to consider? Like, if you tap into all creation ever, and then your contribution within that, and how it's landed you here listening, watching this video, tuning into these cards with me. November 2019, almost complete, almost at the end of this decade, about to step into 2020. Like, whoa, it's kind of mind-blowing. Yeah, and then there's the duality of that, which can sometimes kind of hang us up a little bit, you know? If that's true, that we are the creator and the co-creator of every experience, then we arrive here fully responsible for this day and all that we have brought to this day. All the stories, the baggage, the failed relationships, the successful relationships, the failed jobs, the successful jobs, the creations, the lack of creations that didn't get birthed, you know, our health, our bodies, our minds, the dreams and desires of our souls. Like, we bring all of that here. And sometimes, especially around a transition, like we're going through this new moon threshold from Scorpio, intense, into Sagittarius, play, adventure, expansion, there's a rub that can happen. There's a friction, you know. When, I'll give you this example. When my dad was teaching me to drive a stick shift car, this is like a famous story in our family. This is how he would teach us to drive a stick shift. He had this tiny little like gold Miata thingy. I don't even know. It was a little hatchback 2-door tiny little car. My dad would get in the passenger side. My brother and I both learned the same way. He was a year and a half older than me. He would get in, he would do his thing. I would get in. We'd go to a hill in a little neighborhood. Actually, I think my dad would drive us to the hill. We'd get to the hill, we'd get out, we'd trade places. And then my dad would sit in the front seat and just hold on to the door handle with the door closed. And I would sit and try to figure out the friction point between the gas and the gear shift, right? So if you know how to drive a stick, you're totally like, oh my God, that's how you learn to drive a stick? That's insane. It was a little insane. So we would sit there and I would play with trying to get my feet to coordinate to find that exact friction where the gas would take us forward. What happened? Do this, right? Like over and over and over again. And my dad would just like, just sit there calmly. I don't know how he did it because I certainly could not do that. Neither of my kids, I think, can drive a stick shift because I haven't taught them. But it's like this magical point where you finally figure out, you can feel the gas and the gear coming into alignment. And then there's this shh, right? And you just start driving up the hill. And it's no big deal. And it's like, why, what was all that? What was all that learning back there? You know, my poor dad with his shock on his shoulders and his headache, I'm sure, and the strain of his heart. Like, he took the brunt of it for us. Also, I think he loved it because there's something so magical about watching someone figure it out. And you never forget. Once you know how to drive a stick shift, you never forget. And you just can step into any car on any hill. And you might jerk for a minute or two, but you'll find that sweet spot and you'll start driving. And it's the best. It's such an empowering thing to learn. And so my dad would teach us that, right? And so we would have this play. It's exactly the same way with this creator card and arriving here. You know, we have been figuring out what our groove is, and maybe it's felt like we've stalled the car too many times and we can't figure it out. Throw in the towel, done, right? Or maybe it's like we've destroyed the motor, or we've ruined our relationship with the person who's sitting next to us while we try to figure out the gear shift. It's not that. It's a learning. The whole point of this human journey is to learn, to master new things, and then to constantly be creating. And so some people, like my dad, right? He came in, he sat in the passenger seat, he did his thing, he taught me, and then he got out and I started driving by myself. And then eventually other people got in, I was driving with other people, and then I moved to the passenger seat and my kids moved into the other seat and I taught them to drive. There's a constant movement in relationships. But when we know that all of it is with this beautiful purpose, that there's value in the learning, and we're not screwing things up, and we're not out of time or late, we're just in this ride together, then I believe it's easier to own the creator. I keep pulling the card up. Then it's easier to own the creator, because then when we sit here, we can say, none of all of that was wrong. It was all learning that brought me to here. And that's a powerful place to be. Most people, I would say the majority of humans, are putting all this stuff behind them and saying, I don't know, I was the victim of this and that happened to me and I didn't choose this and blah, blah, right? There's all this story behind us that we didn't actually create this moment. But that does us a disservice. It takes away from the value of everything that we have been before now, everything we have learned that has brought us to this place. I'm proud of the hour I spent destroying the car and the gear shift and mastering the friction point. So I invite you, if there are places where you are still not wanting to own that you are the creator of your own reality, this is a time before the end of the year to really clean that up, to sit with the feelings that come up when I say that. So if there's shame or guilt or judgment or whatever, not enoughness is one of my big ones, right? Like, I didn't get enough done. There's not enough time. There's not enough, right? I didn't create enough. That's probably one of my biggest ones. Can we start to let that go, change the story, find the value in this journey we've been taking, and know that we're learning to master that friction between creation and victimization, owning all of it and not quite sure that we actually brought ourselves here fully. We did, and it's a beautiful place to be. And so how can we step into this energy, this new moon possibility as we move towards the end of the year? How can we own that everything is our creation? And we are powerful creators. Powerful creators. Yeah. So that's the past. Kind of. It might still be walking with you for a little bit. All right. The abundance card. You know what I love is this guy looks very hippie-ish, you know, like he belongs like in the world of the gypsies or, you know, the 60s. The abundance card, if you can see, there's so much color. It's like rainbows everywhere. There's balance. You've got the sun on one side, the moon on the other, the rainbow bridge taking you up into the sky that looks like an hourglass. He's got this big belly that's just hanging out of his clothes because he's so full, and he's got everything he wants, flowers. There's a carpet, looks like a magic carpet ride. And then the book underneath him feels like the book of wisdom. It's almost like he's floating in the clouds up in the sky. It's just lush, everything everywhere, right? So the abundance card talks about how we are at this place where everything that we choose and want is available to us. And can we relax into just receiving that? Can we allow it to just be this opulent, pleasurable experience? He's not doing anything. He's just laying back, soaking it all in. So that's so funny. I mean, I want to be like him when I grow up. So this is the card for the present. Abundance. Right? If you notice, he's not holding money in his hands, but that doesn't mean money isn't buying all the things around him. He's not holding food in his hands, but his belly shows he's very well fed. He's not really holding anything. It's just energy and movement and color that's luxuriously satiating all of his senses. And I feel like and I'll speak for myself, you know, I get very attached to abundance means money, and money looks like this, and this is how it has to come in, and this is how it has to go out. So I try to control abundance or put it into a box. You know, this is abundance, and I have it or I don't have it, or I have enough or I don't have enough. This card is inviting us to be in the flow of energy. Just comes in and it moves through and it gives us all that we need and it goes out, and then it comes in again and there's no lack. You know, he's so happy and he doesn't have to worry about combing his hair and looking pretty for videos. He has a little headband. Maybe I should start doing more of that. I mean, it's just easy. He just looks relaxed and happy. And I know many people who are abundant and not relaxed, very stressed out, very busy, not able to enjoy what it is that they have. So there's some harmony or balance, right? The sun and the moon, there's some steadiness in that. And I feel like our creations have brought us into the potential of abundance. Can we relax enough to allow that to come in and be our experience? Can we manifest by leaning back and then just allowing all of the desires to be fulfilled? It's a practice, right? It's a practice I'm getting better at. I have not yet mastered that. I'm often the one cooking and running and doing and making sure, right? And for me, it's like, can I lean back and receive and allow? Which Thanksgiving weekend is a good time to test that one out, right? to lean back more. So as you think about the holiday weekend, is that a practice that you can share with those around you so they're not sitting there wondering why you don't have the turkey on the table? Can you invite more support? Can you create more of this sense of spaciousness in the schedule and communication and talking and sharing and energy just flowing without anyone having to hold it, grasp it, control it? I'm saying this all for myself. I hope you're getting something out of it. This is clearly just for me. So yeah, I'm going to share that card with my husband and say, let's really just have an easygoing Thanksgiving weekend. What can we do about that? Because that would be fun. That would be fun. And I'm all about the magic carpet ride. Like, that sounds so good. Okay, present. And then future. Really, abundance also, I believe, is going to carry us into the first week or two of December. There's a shift from Scorpio to Sagittarius of more adventure and play and wisdom and travel and creation and partnerships of people doing things with us. Where Scorpio, I feel like it really was an invitation to go internally down and in and look at what's there and, maybe clean some stuff up. So as we move into the beginning of December, are we able to allow in new ways where people can play with us and communicate and share? Are we opening up to communicate and play more with other people? The abundance to me also implies like an abundance of love and fellowship and support and yeah, I mean, the circle, it just makes me feel like that. The circle I hosted on Friday, there were half new women and half people who had been there before. We're still waiting for more guys to come, so spread the word. But it was very balanced of some who were familiar with the space and some who were not. And the welcoming of all into this circle, and then the sharing and the connection and the story exchanging and the wisdom that was being passed around, it created more because people were willing to be open. They brought themselves fully present into an experience, and then more was created from that. And I believe that's part of this abundance card too. As we move into this holiday season and the end of this year, this decade, are we allowing in connection and relationships? Are we putting ourselves into places where we can receive the abundance of love and give the abundance of love? Like, how are we allowing that community manifestation to happen in our lives? So put yourself out of your comfort zone just a little bit and reach out to people that perhaps normally you'd kind of sit back here and not do that. Take the initiative as we move into the energy of this abundance card in December. Like, put yourself into some new spaces and then see how it feels. If it feels abundant and awesome and you're just receiving the love, go back again. If it doesn't, find a different space, right? There's no fear in the sky. It's the hippie 60s, all love, everyone love each other, right? If the people you're hanging out with aren't loving you, then find some new people and they'll love you and you love them. Like, someone told me there's 7.5 billion people on this planet. If you can't find some people who just want to hang out and chat with you, you got to get up and find some new people, because they're definitely out there. Shoot, I think I might be going pretty long here, but that's where we're at today. It's been that kind of a day. All right, future card. This is the lunar cycle as we are moving towards, so I would say this probably carries us towards the full moon, right? So it's going to take us from the past, present, towards the future. And then this is definitely going to carry us full moon towards the next new moon, this new vision card. This is a complex card, so I'm going to see if I can show it to you. It's kind of reflecting, so hopefully you'll be able to see it. At the bottom, if you can see, there's like a sketch. It's like an old version of a human who's crawling on the floor. There you go, you can see it better. And then out of that, old archaic sort of version of a person rises up this warrior, right? Look how strong that body is, and the pose. My daughter can do that pose. It's amazing to see her. It's like strong and focused, and like, look at the eyes reaching, looking straight up to the sky, and the chin open and the arms stretching. And then if you can also see, there are 3 shapes. So there's a square right around the body, going into a triangle right at the top of the warrior pose, going into a circle. And then out of the circle is this explosion of color and light and power, right? Which also, to me, looks like from the throat, going straight up is this triangle from the throat up into the circle, out into the universe. It's really like such a powerful card. It almost looks like wings too, if you can see that, like angels' wings. It feels very much like an archangel energy card to me. So coming out of that human at the bottom, right? Isn't that amazing? So this one I'm going to read just a little bit to you about, because it feels like you need the actual words of Zen, not just the translation of Viv. Hang on, I got to find it for you though, because I wasn't realizing I would do that. New Vision is a major arcana card, 26. And I may have to put my glasses on for you people. New Vision. No, I'm good. All right, you ready? When you open up to the ultimate, immediately it pours into you. You are no longer an ordinary human being. You have transcended. Your insight has become the insight of the whole existence. Now you are no longer separate. You have found your roots. Otherwise, ordinarily, everybody is moving without roots, not knowing from where their heart goes on receiving energy, not knowing who goes on breathing in them, not knowing the life juice that is running inside of them. It is not the body, it is not the mind. It is something transcendental to all duality that is called Bhagavat, the Bhagavat in 10 directions. Your inner being, when it opens, first experiences 2 directions, the height and the depth. And then slowly, as this becomes your established situation, you start looking around, spreading into all the other 8 directions. And once you have attained to the point where your height and your depth meet, then you can look around to the very circumference of the universe. Then your consciousness starts unfolding in all 10 directions, but the road has been one. The figure on this card is being born anew, emerging from his or her earthbound roots and growing wings to fly into the unbounded. The geometric shapes around the body of the figure show the many dimensions of life simultaneously available to him or her. The square represents the physical, the manifest, the known. The circle represents the unmanifest, the spirit, pure space. And the triangle symbolizes the threefold nature of the universe: manifest, unmanifest, and the human being who contains both. Now you are presented with an opportunity to see life in all its dimensions, from the depths to the heights. They exist together. And when we come to know from experience that the dark and the difficult are needed as much as the light and the easy, then we begin to have a very different perspective on the world. By allowing all of life's colors to penetrate us, we become more integrated. My friends, we are wrapping up 2019 and moving towards 2020 with a new vision. I could not have come up with something more appropriate and perfect myself, and yet this is exactly what the energy has shown us. So yeah. My head has like 100 million other words along with yeah, but we'll just go yeah to make sure you get the alignment and the joy and the possibilities of what's coming in 2020. Like, yes. So maybe we have a little work to do before then. Maybe there's some stuff to release and let go of and, put all in place. And if this is our focus, if new vision is what we know we're moving towards by the full moon, next full moon, you got 2 weeks. I mean, you got as much time as you want, but the energy is showing you got about 2 weeks. 2 weeks to clean it up. Allow this abundance at the full moon, and then full moon into the next new moon. Let's bring this new vision forward. and it'll just start to take form, right? If you notice, that guy on the ground, the figure on the ground, it's not fighting, wrestling with the figure above, trying to get up, it's just crawling forward until suddenly it's no longer as clear because this other one has arisen out of it. And the other one has arisen by being a warrior, by looking up into the heavens. It's innately inside of us wanting to be expressed. And so can we surrender and allow and let that life force carry us? Of course we can. Of course we can. And maybe we need community support around us to do some of that releasing and exploring and allowing to get to the abundance to flow into the new vision. But if our eye is on that vision, it's going to happen. It's going to be really good. I don't really know how to top that, but I did say that we would pull a card from our guides, you know, beyond what we've already called, because there's always more, my friends. There is always more. Like, I know this, and my guides keep showing me this. I had such a beautiful meditation today. Oh my gosh, like, there's so much love and support around us. Don't ever doubt it. Don't ever stop believing that it's true, because it just takes a moment to close your eyes and to tune in, and there it is. Beings of light, source, God, creator, your soul, your actual guides who travel in this lifetime with you, they're just right here. I mean, what's there to be worried about? It's incredible. All right, so we'll do 8 because they like to play with us. So 1, 2, we're back to English. I need to learn another language. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Conditioning. They're reminding us that we are the lion who thinks he is a sheep because he has been brought up with the sheep, but he's not. He's a lion. She's a lion. And also she would never hurt the sheep because she knows they're all one. So conditioning has us believe that we're part of the pack that looks like everybody else. And then as we start to awaken, it has us believe that we're separate, different, unique, scary, whatever. And then we remember we're actually all one energy. So it's all just a game. It's all just an illusion. Play the game, right? Roar a little bit. Step out of the sheep and roar. Show them who you are. Oh, our guides are so wise. Yeah, the other thing I would add here is break the tie that binds you. Break the ropes that have you locked into believing you're just one of the pack of everybody else, because you're not. You are a unique creator, contributor. And the way that you express your voice is going to show you how we all come back to being one again. So we need you to go through the phase of being a lion so you can come back to being one. So don't be afraid. All right. That's what I got.